Recently, I had a moment where my creativity felt stifled. And no matter what I tried drawing exercises, I tried watercolor swatches, mixing color, all the things that I normally go through, practices, challenges, all the things. And I just felt stifled. Like I just could not seem to get myself together. I ran across this video entitled 10 Things Nobody Told You. Sorry about that. Ugh. 10 Things Nobody Told You About Being Creative on the Jellyfish Learning channel here on YouTube. And pretty much she did, and it was a woman's voice, so I'm assuming it was a woman because there was no face. But she summarized the book Still Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. And she pretty much summarized it to say to use others' work for inspiration, right? That there's nothing new under the sun. We know that from the Bible. And to embrace influence. And as a Black woman, we always think we need to, be 10 toes down and do things on 100 for everything, right? That we have to actually create our own inspiration. We forget that that's what art, or real good art, really is. Real good art should answer your question as the creator, right? What will happen if I do this? And your art answers that question, but it also inspires the other artists to ask the question. So art, encapsulates all that, at least good art does, right? And so that got me to thinking. I thought about what she said in that video. And originality is not really required to spark creativity. All right, and that's what we're going to talk about here today. So I'm Yvette Boone. I am a recovering software engineer and a lifelong creative hobbyist. And here on my channel, we embrace women, Black women, having a wellness practice that includes creative hobbies, right? One of my creative hobbies, and the one that I actually used to kind of get me out of that rut, was coloring. And I really just wanted to introduce you guys to coloring. I was actually introduced to coloring by my grandson. My grandson, we had a date. I have two grandsons, and I took them out, and we went to the craft store, and we were picking up things to do for the day. And he was probably about 5 or 6 years old, young, right? He wanted to color. So I went straight to the crayons. He was like, I don't want crayons. I want coloring sticks. That's what he called them, coloring sticks. And I was like, okay. So we go to look up coloring sticks to find him some coloring sticks. And he wanted some Prismacolor. He saw Prismacolor. He wanted Prismacolor. And I looked at the sticker price and I was like, ooh, bro, we're going to have to pick something else. So we got those. We came home. We arted that day. We did, crafts and everything. And I sat down with him and colored with him. And I remember thinking, how much fun is this? Like, I had not colored since I was a kid. If I had, it was really, probably to color with the kids, but not as, I never thought of it as a creative outlet for myself. So when I was going through my little creativity, stifled energy, something came to me. Pick up your coloring book. And I picked up my coloring book and I started coloring. And I guess what I'll do is let me show you a couple of pages in this book. I don't want to show the whole book because an artist spent a lot of time doing this book. And I want you guys, if someone wants to buy it, they really should buy it. It's a beautiful book. The quality of the paper is awesome. And the pictures in here are just phenomenal. If you love faces and coloring women's faces, somebody too, this is a fantastic coloring book. It's the author's name, or the artist's name is here. I don't want to butcher it, but first name is Nicholas. And so I sat down and I colored. I didn't get to finish it, which is okay, because what I what I came to do, this thing, it knew the assignment and did it well. I needed to be able to get to that point where I was asking the question, what if I did this? And I wanted to create, and it sparked me to create. So it did exactly what it needed to do. And I'll probably come back and finish it at one time. But I didn't need to finish it that day, because this actually, I'm a slow colorer. So it actually took me some time to color, which nothing in the world wrong with that. I love taking time to color. And matter of fact, that is one of my favorite things about coloring, is that it gives my brain a rest. It gives my brain a place to just stop and not do anything. I think, like in the book, because when the woman Jellyfish Channel summarized the book, she said, be inspired by other people's creativity, embrace that influence. And I thought, well, yeah, the coloring book would do that, but that's exactly what this is. I don't have to draw the pictures, right? I can just go in and color the pictures. So if I don't have anything, or if I don't have a lot of creativity going on in my head, I can just color the pictures, right? In the lines, color the picture. But of course, the moment you start doing that, you start going outside the lines, and you start doing other things like doodling outside the page, or creating a background, or adding more to the image. One of the things that I thought about when I found this book, love this book, I still will say that hands down, this is one of my favorite coloring books, is that a lot of the women, some of them are brown women, but no black women. And so one of the prompts, or one of the things that the question for me would be why don't we make one of them black? Can we figure out a way to alter her hair and alter her face to make her black, right? Just a thought, nothing I have to do. All of the people that I draw or color don't have to be black, but sometimes it's nice, But yeah, let me go back to some of the reasons why I love coloring. Definitely one of them. Thinking back to when my kids were younger, I did not color when my kids were younger. So I didn't have the opportunity to use this. But thinking back to that time, like, this is a very mess-free creative hobby, right? Like, you have a book, you have some coloring sticks, as my grandson calls them, and a sharpener, and you can take down and put up as needed. You can take this with you. It travels well. If you wanted to travel out of the country or do a house sit somewhere, you can definitely take this with you, right? You're not going to mess up anybody's furniture or untidy their house or mess up anything by taking these supplies. It's not going to stain anything, none of that, right? It travels well. Matter of fact, I did a train trip. I was traveling up to New York to go see my dad, and took my coloring book and pencils, and it was, you're on the train for a long time, and coloring for me takes a long time. And so I enjoyed every one of those 7 hours on the train. I enjoyed it because I was coloring the whole time. It was awesome. And I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Oh yeah, you can stop and start anytime you want. Like, sometimes with other creative hobbies, you have to find the right stopping place. You don't want to stop in the middle of something because it might mess up what you're trying to accomplish. But you don't have to do that here. You just, the phone rings, an emergency happened, a kid falls, and dinner's done. You can stop it, put the stuff up, take it down. You can do it for 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening. You don't have to spend a bunch of time doing it, but you will want to, because the other thing about it is you get into flow, okay? So if you're in the tech field or you're in the business field, I don't know if you guys use it in the business field or not, but getting in the flow is a thing, right? They want you to program to the point where you're in this place and you're zoning and you're flowing, and before you know it, time has passed and you don't even realize it because you're so busy, coding. You definitely get in the flow here. At least I do, right? I am coloring, and then I look up and it's like dark. And I'm like, how did this happen? But I love it. I love it. My friends used to tease me all the time. Oh my goodness, are you taking your coloring with you when you go? And I would say, yes, I sure am. And didn't feel any kind of way about it, because at the end of the day, like it invokes so much creativity in you, right? Being around, especially these kinds of books. Now, I am a stickler for coloring books for adults. Now, I will say coloring books for kids are not anti-adult, because if you like to doodle or you want to add your own details, those are perfect because they come with very little detail, whereas these are very detailed. So if you don't want to be bothered with detail, these are the way to go, right? Just to give you some example of some other books, like that's one style of book, right? I also have this one. This is Enchanted Forest by Joanna Basford. Very detailed, very small, little teeny places to color. And so love this, right? I love different kinds of books. And I also wanted to show, oh yeah, this one. And these are not all of my books, but just a couple of them. This one, I don't think I've colored in here, or maybe I have and I just don't remember, which is possible too. But it is very detailed. I absolutely love, yeah, I did a little bit of it. And I never feel any kind of way about not finishing them, right? I never really feel any kind of way. I can always come back to finish them. So I love coloring. And one way that I have, because I'm sort of a bougie hobbyist, and I'm not ashamed. I'm a bougie hobbyist, and I like to use artist grades. So once again, I'm gonna blame this on my grandson, because he wanted color sticks. And he wanted the Prismacolor. And at the time, I wasn't really aware. I wasn't even aware that artists had artist grade color pencils. In my mind, I don't know why, in my mind I'm thinking watercolor paint, but I never thought of coloring pencils for artists. But they have plenty of coloring, of artist grade color pencils, right? So outside of just buying coloring books for adults, I've also purchased artist grade coloring sticks or color pencils. This is helpful in the sense where, a lot of times when you don't have a lot of time and you're new to a hobby, you want to remove as many obstacles as possible. And having good artist quality or good quality media, whether it's the paint or pencil or paper, eliminates so much drama, right? Like, you don't have time to try to figure out why this is not blending or why it's not putting down a lot of color. If you have good quality products, then you don't have to worry about that. Now, they are costly, but they're worth it to me. So maybe in another video, I can come back and tell you about my artist grade art supplies, especially my pencils. I have literally sitting here about 4 canisters of artist grade pencils. I have Prismacolor, I have Caran d'Ache, I have Faber-Castell. I love them. Okay, absolutely love them. So definitely a bougie hobbyist. Love good quality art supplies. Love good quality coloring books. And they have been a godsend on helping me to be creative. I use coloring books because an artist has already thought of the thing, and I can come in and mindlessly just color and wait for my own creativity to be sparked, and I can go from there. And so hopefully this helps somebody. If you want to hear more about how my creativity comes through and how I'm able to stay inspired or what I'm up to, join my channel, subscribe, and you can check out my newsletter. There will be a link in the description for my newsletter, and you can join that community. Hopefully we can get a strong community of Black women who want to embrace creative hobbies in their wellness practice. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye. Here we go. Recently, I had a moment, because you did this.